large part of trying to live a greener life sometimes means giving up the things you love. For example, it has been determined that consuming meat on a regular basis can have a tremendous negative impact on the environment. And there have been concerns raised regarding the conditions in which some farm animals are raised. Wishing Well Animal Sanctuary is a non-profit organization located in Bradford that was established to allow people to come into close contact with the same types of animals that we consume on a daily basis, to educate the public on animal welfare, to discuss alternate dietary choices, and ultimately, to fall in love with the creatures that call Wishing Well their home. When you enter the Wishing Well Sanctuary, you're greeted by a menagerie of curious and affectionate animals. It may be a Vietnamese pot-bellied pig looking for a belly rub, or a sheep just wanting to cuddle. The animals here are treated more like beloved house pets, or I dare say friends, than working animals. And that is exactly what founder and owner of Wishing Well, Brenda Bronfman, intended when she established the not-for-profit sanctuary.
So Wishing Well Sanctuary is my dream come true. At long last, I'm 52 and finally I feel like I've landed in my life's purpose. Since a child I've wanted to rescue animals. Primarily it was cats and dogs because that's what I knew when I was young. And as I grew older and I learned more about the plight of farmed animals, and I realized how few people they have as their spokespeople, I thought this is where I could make a difference.
In residence, there is a total of 14 cows, 6 American land pigs, 5 pot-bellied pigs, 2 donkeys, 9 sheep, 3 rabbits, 2 Percheron horses, 4 goats, 4 chickens, a barn cat, and the latest addition, a full-grown llama. Each arriving under different circumstances, some with tragic stories that are all too common in the animal agricultural industry.
Well, the animals that are here have been saved from either abuse or neglect or a cruelty situation of some type or other. And they really are ambassadors of their species. Obviously, we cannot save them all. So the ones that are brought to our attention where we're asked to step in, and obviously with regards to our limits on how many animals we can take into the farm, then we will step in and do what we can to help those animals.
With an industry responsible for the slaughter of millions upon millions of animals, of course, it is impossible for the sanctuary to be able to save them all. Its role is more to be used as a center for education and awareness.
While we of course rescue animals and love them and they're part of our animal family, we do work and want to work with children in particular to teach them about humane education, and we think that we'll have a much greater impact. Otherwise we're just housing animals basically. So the ripple effect will be much greater as we work with people, and then dovetail that with their spending time with the animals, which of course for all of us is very healing.
Although Brenda and Wendy would love to see people adopt a vegan diet, they don't believe it's their place to dictate anyone's lifestyle choices.
Our goal is certainly not to say what not to do, but to encourage new choices. So new food choices, new ways of looking at the world around ourselves, and then I think everything else will follow suit. Yeah, no, we definitely don't want to say what people shouldn't do, because that's really not our job. People can make their own choices. We just want to show them that there are other choices.
Collected evidence is pointing to a vegan-based diet as the best choice for all of us. A recent report released by the United Nations warns that if the world does not move to eating less animals, there is a real danger of increasing world hunger and fuel poverty, and that a move to a vegan diet will help protect against the worst impacts of climate change. Professor Edgar Hertwig, who led the report, said, "Animal products cause more damage than making construction materials such as sand or cement, plastics or metals, and that biomass and crops for animals are as damaging as using fossil fuels."
To get people not to eat anymore would be absolutely wonderful. But I think the bigger thing is to have these ambassadors so that the children can meet, get to know them, become interactive with them, and realize that as much as the law at the moment is so wrong, that all animals are sentient beings, that they feel, they drink, they eat, they love, they feel pain, they feel happiness, just as we do. So each animal that we bring in, for instance, we had Maurice and Winston that came in, which are 2 American landrace pigs, which are otherwise known in the common world as the meat pigs. This is an animal that typically people would not meet. They wouldn't integrate with them, they wouldn't socialize with them, they wouldn't be able to touch them. Most kids, especially from inner city Toronto, have no information about a pig. And what they do. You know, they see the baby pigs on the commercials and everything else, but they don't see an actual full-grown pig. So it's a great education opportunity for them to get to know them, to get to know about them, and to interact with them.
The sanctuary opens its doors to the general public on the last weekend of every month.
We don't insist on a donation, but we ask for a donation of about $10 a person, but if they have $2, that's fine too. Primarily, it's an exercise in getting people to start to feel connected with the sanctuary. Really what I want to be doing is making a difference in the world, and making a difference not only for the animals on a larger scheme, because we can only rescue so many. We're limited by space and funds, of course, and time. You know, there's only so many we can look after. But they're sort of ambassadors for their species. And as people come to recognize the similarities between us and them, that they're not that different from the animals that they may have at home as their companion animals, I think that they'll make some better choices. And as well, people often feel disconnected, and feel disconnected from themselves, from each other, and from the environment at large. And so that's a big part of our mandate, is to reconnect people, and that's why in our logo it says in connection with all. So I think that as people recognize that we really are connected, everything we do, we say, how we feel makes a difference to everything outside of ourselves. And so our goal is to help people feel that connection, help them make better choices, which I think will make a bigger difference to the universe.
The Wishing Well Sanctuary openly accepts people looking to volunteer, to help clean and groom, or just be a companion to a 4-legged friend. You can also sponsor a specific animal to help with food and care costs, or donate funds to help with overall operations. To learn more about this organization, please visit our website for details.